Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Welcome to Pretty Lies and Alibis. Join us as we seek the truth and travel the long road to justice. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a very special episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. It's our birthday.
That's right. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. 1 year ago today, we were back in a tiny little room using the iMac microphone and speakers.
Yeah, so if you go back and listen to the very first episode, it doesn't sound really good.
Sounds horrible, but I remember it like it was yesterday. We got a notification from East Idaho News that they were searching the Daybell property. And so I called you and I said, get over here. Something's going on with the case. And we had talked about doing a podcast for a couple of months before that day. And I said, we're just going to do it. Let's do it.
We jumped right in.
And
that's why it was so long.
Somewhat awkward. I haven't listened to it since that day. I may go back and do that this evening before we go live. We're going to go live tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Video, hopefully. We're hoping that works out. And then we want you guys to join us. We're going to try to do it on Facebook and YouTube at the same time, maybe Instagram. So tweet us out your questions, put them on Facebook, whatever. And we cannot wait.
And we're going to have our friend Brianne and Taylor monitoring during that. So they're going to shoot us some stuff too.
So it's crazy because that first day we had 7 listeners.
Yeah.
Mikhail was one, so we got to shout her out. She was officially our first fan.
For real.
But we went from 7 listeners in one day to over 40,000 people listening.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Crazy.
And so we just literally have to say thanks to all of you, because without you, we would still be doing this for 7 people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And we've come a long way. We're going to talk about it a little bit more tonight on the live.
But we have amazing fan base. Like,
oh yeah, everybody's
so cool.
Everybody's so nice and just keeps it civil, keeps it clean, and we appreciate that. Yeah, it's just been so fun. We've met people through this that we will probably keep in touch with for a very long time. It's just crazy how it happens.
Yeah, like she sends us stuff all the time. Rolling in the Dough.
Oh yeah, she's great.
In Arizona. She's hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah, I love her. She's funny.
Very talented cookie maker. So if you're out in Arizona, check her out. She has an Instagram page too. And our friend Brianne surprised us with a Pretty Lies and Alibis birthday cake today.
Oh, it was so cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, we went and picked it up, and she made me close my eyes. So we're driving, and I'm like, I'm going to throw up. Yeah, because she was, obviously she was driving. But,
right. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But it was so cool, and it was good. My sugar just dropped, so I got to get like a decent sized piece, so it was good.
Yeah, because I was looking at it and feeling a little sad you wouldn't be able to have a bite, and then you said, "Oh, my sugar's down." So
exactly,
you had your chance.
Exactly, it was good.
So I have a Sherlock story.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's really hard sometimes to keep him in the house. I mean, he just darts out when we open doors, and we try to prevent it, but he's very good about not leaving the yard when he does get out. But the other night I had driven a pretty good ways to pick up the girls from theater practice, and I come home and I'm going into my house and I look, and there's something just very shiny on his coat in the porch light. So I'm thinking, well, it had been raining, so I thought maybe he's just wet. He got caught out in a storm. So he comes in the house and I pick him up, and my arms are covered in motor oil.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. It smelled like gasoline. Does motor oil smell like gasoline some?
It's got a smell to it. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. So I was sitting there thinking, like, what do I do? What do I do?
Dawn.
So I remembered when BP
Yep.
dumped, tons of stuff in the ocean, and there was that commercial where they're bathing like the ducks or something in
Yep.
Dawn. So I go get my Dawn dish detergent. I have the kind that sprays. So I'm spraying the cat with Dawn dish detergent, and he stinks. It's just not coming out. So at that point, the entire bathroom floor is covered in water. I literally have pulled something in my leg, not even kidding. And so I Google, and it says vegetable oil is very good for breaking down the motor oil on a cat. So I go get my vegetable oil. And at this point, I'm just trying to get the cat clean. I'm covered in it. It's horrible. So I literally just start dumping the vegetable oil on him. Not even just because it was all over him.
Dude, your cat gonna smell like chicken fried rice.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So finally I get it to where it's good enough. I mean, it's off of him, because my fear was he was going to lick himself and die.
Yeah.
So I get him out. I've done all I can do, and I dry him off, and he kind of gets lethargic. But it's not like he's sick or anything. I think he was just cold, because you can't hair dry a cat. I tried, and if you could have, it looked like I was battling an exorcism. I having an exorcism in the bathtub, because he was trying not to scratch me and stuff. But it was just, oh gosh, y'all, it was like a floppy fish in my hand.
Yeah, cats and water don't mix.
Yeah, no kidding. So I wrap him in 2 towels and put him under my covers right next to me. And I have this really thick blanket that is like a heater. So he sleeps under there all night. So I unwrap him, and this cat looks like Sid Vicious. His fur is spiked up. Looks like a little punk rock cat.
Yeah, you sent it to me, and I was like, what the world?
Oh my gosh. So I had to take him to the groomer. He's fine now, but he really wants out. He's not getting out. And he will make an appearance on our live show tonight.
Yep.
So that's my Sherlock story of the week. It's always something. Now, you sent me a picture of your leg the other night with a big boo-boo on it.
Okay, yeah. So last night we're working at the theater, and your youngest, Sarah, and our buddy, Diego, were moving a piano, and they couldn't get it moved. Well, I've jumped up on the stage like 10 times doing it this way. Well, last night I went to do it, and I don't know, my 44 years of age caught up with me, I guess. Oh. And I slammed my shin into the front of the stage.
It's gnarly looking.
Yep. So I walk like, okay, I'm good, even though I feel like my legs broke.
Oh.
So I go by myself, and I pull my blue jean leg up, and I look, and I'm like, oh. And it's like this big goose egg.
Oh, it was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like a growth on your leg. Yeah. It was so gross.
Yeah. So it's sore, but
I bet.
Yeah, I won't do that again.
So we had somebody on Twitter tag us and say that they were at Crime Con, which I didn't know existed until they tagged us.
I've heard of Comic-Con, but
yeah, down in Austin, Texas. And they were saying that a group of people were talking about the podcast, and next year they really want us to come. They have a cruise in October, November, but we don't do cruises.
No.
I saw Titanic. I've been on cruises, but just
no.
Like, that's a small boat in the ocean in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I'm good. Iceberg ahead? No, I'm good.
Either that or I think a coronavirus, or not coronavirus, but like the stomach virus.
Oh, they always, and everybody gets it?
Yeah, it's like, so, 5 days on the high seas just with your head in a toilet doesn't sound fun.
Yeah.
We would love to go next year.
Yeah.
I think it's in Vegas.
Oh, yeah, I'm in.
That could be dangerous, but yeah, we're going to have to look into that. So today, ironically, on the 1-year anniversary, these kids were found buried in Chad's backyard. He was officially arraigned on the murder of JJ, Tylee, and Tammy Daybell. Very full circle.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of odd how these dates kind of coincided with the discovery. And I think it's very sentimental in a way.
Yep.
Because
so charges came on JJ's birthday, right?
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
and he was arraigned on the 1-year anniversary that we finally answered the question, where are the kids? Unfortunately, we all know the outcome of that.
Yep.
So what happened today, Fruit Loop?
So he pled not guilty to all charges.
I was a little worried at first because it took about 15 minutes past. In this case, they never go live when they're supposed to. We heard they were in chambers, and for a split second, I thought, is he going to plead guilty?
Yep.
Like a split second. I knew he wouldn't deep down, but you have to wonder. I thought, is he going for a continuance or is he going to plead guilty? One of the two, but
Yeah.
no, he pled not guilty. So who was there?
So Kay and Colby were there. Larry was not, and we hope he's okay.
Yeah.
I remember on the what was it? It was a doomsday thing they did.
The Discovery Special
Yeah.
Doomsday. Yeah.
That he had vertigo, if you remember right, when they were going to go identify
Yeah.
JJ's body. So,
Yeah.
and I think he has some blood pressure issues. So, yeah, we hope he's okay.
Yeah, we're thinking about Larry today. What I thought was interesting is Garth, Seth, and Emma, 3 of Chad's kids, were there sitting behind their dad.
Yeah.
I don't know how, for me personally, how I could sit behind my father if the state of Idaho just said they have enough evidence to say he murdered my mother.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, I hope I never have to find out. I think my dad's, he loves my mom, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But I was just surprised.
Yeah. I don't know if, yeah.
I mean, I can't begin to understand
No.
what their emotions and thought process is like, but it spoke volumes to me that they were behind him. They could have sat on the other side, but that I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't either.
Yeah. So Kay and Colby talked to Nate on the courthouse steps, and Kay said she's glad that they're moving on to this next step. 1 year to the day when the kids were unearthed in his backyard.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I think they've said it was slow moving, and now it's like moving really fast.
Yeah, and then what you're gonna find is it's gonna go slow again.
Yep.
They are gonna have a hearing on June the 23rd at 9:30 a.m. for Chad to schedule his trial date. Although the chances of that trial date happening when they schedule it, I think, are slim to none.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree. So Kay also she shook her head, right?
Yeah, when they were when she was talking about Chad pleading not guilty.
Yeah. And said they were in his backyard and he knows nothing about it. I know it's the justice system, but.
And she just kind of dropped it off right there. And,
Yeah.
and it's true. I mean, she said, I guess it's the judicial system, it's the justice system and he has his rights. But I mean, I think everybody's thinking what Kay's thinking, which is you're pleading not guilty and these kids were in your backyard.
Yeah, it's such a waste of money.
It really is.
I mean, it's crazy, but I love Kay.
I love that whole family.
Oh, I
is
know.
just so sweet. And
Yeah.
we think the world of them and we're always wishing them the best.
Yep.
At one point during the hearing, she got emotional and Nate pointed this out and he said that she turned and held Colby's hand. And she said she wasn't expecting to be emotional and that it comes in waves. And she said it just makes it more real because it was very surreal when they didn't know.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, it's going to be like that for the rest of their lives in some way or another. This trial may be put to bed, they're imprisoned, whatever. And 10 years from now, she may see a news blip about this case and it's going to bring everything back for them.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the hardest part. I have kept in touch with some of Travis Alexander's siblings since all the legal stuff was over with Jody. I sat in on some of the retrial of the penalty phase and got to know one sister very well. She's such a sweetheart. And it's really hard because I remember last year on the anniversary of his birthday, I believe, she said at this point, she can't think about her brother too much because for her, all she thinks about is what happened to him and everything that came after. And it's kind of like the good memories just have a shadow on them.
Yep.
And I understand that.
It's when it's a murder. I mean, death is hard in any aspect.
Right.
But I think when it's a murder, it's tougher.
Yeah, because a car accident is tragic.
Yep.
There's a certain understanding that accidents happen. But when you lose a loved one because somebody makes a conscious choice to take them out of this world, there's always a bigger question, I think, of why. Like, what did these kids do to deserve it? Nothing. What did Tammy do? Nothing. What did Charles do? Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, they were all innocent.
They were innocent, and unfortunately, them being alive didn't fit into their plan. And we have 4, maybe even Joe, 5 senseless deaths of just for selfish reasons. And so I don't think you might be able to live day to day, but I don't think you ever resolve that in your heart.
No.
It's just unimaginable. And we know people that have dealt with murder, and it's kind of the same theme.
Yeah.
You just, like you said the other day, left foot, right foot, breathe, repeat.
Yeah. Yep.
Pat Summitt quote.
Yep. Very true.
So what did she say when she was asked about him pleading not guilty?
So Kay says, when asked about him pleading not guilty, she said, he's a liar.
Yeah. I mean.
Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of the end all there.
Yeah.
And then.
So I have these, I play these things out in my head if I'm ever in a bar fight, or
First of all, I don't think you'd ever be in a bar.
No. Or a back alley fight. Like, I pick these people in my mind who I would want to be on my team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Kay and her daughter.
Yeah.
Straight up on my team.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You guys could be like Charlie's Angels.
Exactly.
So Colby Pipe, they talked to Colby, and he said it's hard being there a year after they found the bodies. And he said that seeing Chad and knowing what he did and knowing the truth was very hard. I get it. Colby and Kay both show restraint every time they're going to be in that courtroom with him, and not just hop over that threshold and pound him a few times.
Oh, I noticed the 4 policemen standing behind him.
Yes, they had security there for Chatty Boys on protection.
Because you remember, Colby done gave him the stare down that other time he was in the courtroom.
Yeah, them laser eyes.
Yep.
He would have fallen where he stood if looks could have killed.
Yep.
The same with Kay and Lori in that first appearance in Rexburg.
Oh, yeah.
So Colby goes on to say that Chad's going to say what he's going to say, and he's going to lie about it. And he said that they, meaning him and his mom, have lied about it from the beginning, obviously.
Yeah.
And so what did he say about thinking about the kids today before he went?
So he said this morning he was thinking about all the good times they had, that's all he can hold on to. He doesn't want all his memories to be about them being gone.
Yeah, and that's going to be a hard thing for Colby for quite a while.
Yeah.
Because I think what I've heard from other family members in other cases is that you just think about the good times, and then you think about what happened, and it just overshadows it. It's so sad.
Oh, yeah. So the next court date is when?
We just said it. It was June 23rd at 9:30 a.m. to schedule that trial date. So we will see what happens next. So moving on from the hearing, we found out this week that Rob Wood does not object to her being found incompetent right now. And I think that's a smart move.
Yeah.
I think 2 things here. One, he knows it's going to be a very long time before these trials happen, and just let it play out. And that way he sort of eliminates any kind of an appeal issue down the road based on her due process.
Sure.
And I think that's smart. Or, and this is one that most of our listeners don't like to hear, but if she truly has had some kind of a mental break, and it does happen, he knows he's not going to be successful in that.
Yeah.
So I think either way, letting this play out, like we said in the last episode, we had somebody reach out to us who has worked in a facility like this, and she said she would much rather be in jail.
Wow.
So we will see.
Yeah.
So what did they say in the filing about that?
So while the court has deemed her incompetent for now, they do not feel she is dangerously mentally ill.
I think that's a big clue.
Yeah.
In that filing today, because what they're saying is we think she's not too far gone.
Yep.
So that's really good. So she's been committed to the custody of the director of Idaho Department of Health and Welfare for care and treatment. And it says she's going to be at an appropriate facility for a period not exceeding 90 days.
Yeah.
So we know typically they try to get them back to being competent within those 90 days. If it's not successful, they could recommit her for another 180 days. I think they're going to be hard pressed to say she's not competent if they're saying she's not dangerously mentally ill.
Exactly.
So they're going to put her on the Med Express, give her a lot of psychotic drugs and things like that. And maybe they should slip her a little truth serum in there too.
Yeah. Speak the truth.
So how's she going to get to and from?
So the Fremont County Sheriff's Office will transport her to and from the facility.
Yeah. She will have a mental evaluation when she arrives, and a progress report will be prepared on her mental condition at the time of intake, I assume. And it will include an opinion of whether she's fit to proceed at that point. And if not, they will give the probability of will she be fit to proceed in the foreseeable future.
Wow.
I wish we could get these reports, but I would think HIPAA violations we will probably never see unless it's something they talk about at trial.
Yep.
And it's volunteered by Mark Means. I don't think we'll ever know. At what point have they said she's incompetent? I mean, Mark Means did this in March, and we've had a lot of people ask us, why is it just now becoming public? And I really do think these things take time. To have her evaluated, so many people do try to deem themselves incompetent. I'm sure there's a wait list, and they're not going to put her at the top of any list, I don't think. No. I just think by the time she's evaluated and they're studying the results of that test, we've just gotten to where we are now.
Exactly. And
that's kind of my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. They've taken time to do everything right, so.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be fast. Let's just make sure we don't do anything that's going to eventually put in jeopardy what we hope is a guilty verdict and turn this case upside down in the future. So we're good with whatever. I think Rob Wood's a very smart prosecutor, and I think he's doing exactly what he thinks he needs to do.
Yep.
Whether it's strategy or a legitimate reason, he definitely knows more than we do. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Oh, yeah.
So what about if she is deemed competent?
So if any time the director of the facility determines she is fit to proceed, they will report it immediately to the court.
Yeah. So it's not like, well, I think she's better. We'll give her a week to kind of get her thoughts together. No, they're going to tell the court she's good. And from what we understand, they may kind of push to get some of these hearings done while she's competent. We still have to have a first appearance.
Oh, yeah.
Chad's had his first appearance and been arraigned, and because of this, she's had none of that.
Yeah.
So if she refuses to comply and refuses the treatment that the facility has given her, the court will be notified, and they will also notify the court if she escapes.
She ain't going nowhere.
She going
to be chained around the feet, the waist, the hands.
Yeah, I was thinking about American Horror Story Asylum. I mean, it's Hollywood, but that was not a nice place.
Oh, no.
So we're going to move on to the Melanie Gibb situation where Mark Means served a subpoena on her and essentially wanted a list of every single person she's talked to for months. And that deadline came and went, and Mark Means is saying now he's received nothing from her, so he wants to hold her in contempt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know at this point if she's retained an attorney to have that quashed.
Yeah.
Because Scott Reich thought it would maybe be quashed. But let's read through the filing real quick.
All right. So he says he has... okay, you just said that. He's had no response from her or a lawyer for her. He's asking her to show cause as to why she hasn't supplied the information he requested. He mentions that when she was served, she said she refused service and was calling Rob Wood. Dude, I used to serve papers, and that happened. Sometimes.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
You can actually drop them at their feet.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah. I had that happen one time. The lady, because you're supposed to ask them, are you so-and-so?
Mm-hmm.
And if they say, yeah, I mean, you can drop them or whatever. But there's some cases where if they have verified, okay, this is who you are, they can drop them at your feet and tell you, you've been served.
I would throw them at him probably.
Yeah, I've wanted to do that a couple of times.
So Mark Means says that Melanie Gibb has chosen to ignore the rules of law. And he also says he believes she has evaded criminal prosecution regarding incidents related to this case. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Means knows more than we do.
Yeah.
We don't know if Melanie Gibb has immunity or not. We just don't know.
Yep.
And so what's kind of the last thing?
He accuses her of engaging in inappropriate private communications such as phone calls, emails, and texts with the prosecutor. Here we go again. He also accuses her of making multiple conflicting statements regarding her personal knowledge, actions, and inactions regarding the case.
Yeah, so that's kind of everything we have for this episode. Busy day in this case. As you guys know, it can be very quiet for a month or two, and then it seems like the last couple of weeks, it's been something every single day coming up with this case, and then we have other things filling in, like the really great interview that Zach Cox did with Justin Lum, and then you had Kay and Larry with Justin Lum, and so at least we kind of see how the family's feeling too.
Oh yeah,
I always worry about them. You know, it's funny because I did this years ago, where for about 4 years I helped cover cases, got to sit in on some really good ones, Jodi Arias, the retrial, the penalty phase, sat in on some of the Colorado theater shooter. And you do meet people that either in person or online, just through all of this, that become your friends.
Yeah.
And you do, even though we've never met them personally, I hope one day we can meet them and hug their necks.
Sure.
But in the meantime, we always think about the families and the ones left behind to pick up the pieces after these tragedies. And I was talking actually to Kay's daughter, Kresha, through email this week, and we were just talking about how even in the midst of tragedy, some really beautiful things can happen in the form of relationships that you make along the way, and that you hope you never had to have met in the first place, or maybe under way different circumstances. But the friendships that you make along the way can be a godsend. And so I think from what we've seen, they have made some amazing friends along this really bad journey they've had to be on.
Yeah, you think about it. It's one of the darkest days of your life, and somebody brings life and light into the situation you're going through and shows you some love. So
that's really the only good thing that can come out of stuff like this. You get a guilty verdict, doesn't change the fact of what happened. And we're still waiting on charges for Charles and hopefully the attempted shooting on Brandon. I don't think we're done with arrests. I think maybe all this stuff might get settled first, but I do think there's more to come in this case that we don't anticipate.
Oh, yeah.
So we are going to Facebook tweet out the link for the live tonight. We're thinking 9:30 to 10 Eastern time, mainly because you guys have rehearsal.
Yep.
And it's like 40 minutes away, and we're trying to work it to where we're not too late.
Yep.
Be patient. I'm very nervous about it, like super nervous. And I used to do a weekly show for several years, the Gold Patrol. We won't go there, but and I was very used to doing it, but now I'm very nervous because I've been out of practice for so long. But we're going to go live here in our studio. My kids are going to say hi. Sherlock is definitely going to make an appearance. Fruit Loop be here. Our friend Brianne will be here. So we're very excited. We hope it goes off well, that there's no technical difficulties. So shoot us your questions, and we're going to make a list before we go on. We already have several. Yep. And then in the chat, we're going to have two people, like Fruit Loop said, Brianne and Taylor, are going to be fielding questions for us. So we hope we don't screw it up too bad or make fools of ourselves.
Yeah, you'll get a good laugh out of it anyway.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, it's going to be hard sitting next to you without just cracking up all the time.
Yeah, we might put a screen up.
We're going to have to, one of those dividers like you were in school and you're taking tests.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. So that's all for our 1 year official episode. Very full circle with 1 year ago. Oh, when's Chad ever going to be arrested? Oh, he's getting arrested. And remember that one girl on Facebook that rode by and she got the only footage of him?
Oh, it's classic. There he is. There he is.
That has been seen all over the world. Insane.
Yep.
So we will see you guys tonight. We will tweet out that link as soon as we have it. And we hope to see you all there.
Yep. See you in a bit.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.